What's up, everybody? It's your boy B32 here with the Evolved Podcast, episode 7 or 8 or something. I don't know. But the thing is, he was Brian. Shut up. He's reading something off Facebook. It doesn't matter. But Brian's. We were trying. It's like midnight right now, and I was just sitting here and Brian Ubered me. And he said he's been wanting to do some more serious topics, which is surprising because Brian's the most immature person I know. Alright, for the record, for anybody who wants to say we ripped him off, I've talked about some serious topics on the show before. Now, whether I'm going to be able to upload them or not, I don't know, because my Uvu things won't process. But I do have a video I'm going to upload where the title's going to be Brian is a dirty, stinking, racist liar. Watch for that video. And so the thing is, basically, oh my god. Alright, well, what's the first serious topic you want to talk about? We can do manipulation, depression, addiction, anything like that. You can pick the first one. That was not an option. That was not an option, Brian. Only if she records it and she takes her shirt off. Wait, who are you even talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. Is it on Facebook? Yeah, because I told you to pick a topic. Okay, he wanted to be serious, but he's not being serious. So I want to talk about manipulation. Brian, we're talking about manipulation here. Now, no matter how bad you want to go against this and say you've never taken part in manipulation or say you've never been a victim, everybody has been on both sides of that. Brian knows a lot about manipulation because every girl he's ever been with, he's manipulated in some way or another. He's not listening, so I can say anything I want about him. But nothing, Brian. I'm not telling you. If you don't know, I'm not telling you. Alright, would you shut up and get on topic? But, Brian has manipulated every girl he's ever been with. That's the thing. He'll tell you. You manipulated every girl you've ever been with. Yes, you have. I'm not so confident to even know what the word manipulate means, but whatever. Yeah, I don't care, Brian. I could. There's a lot I could care less about. But you see, oh here, let me tell. Yeah, I can hear it too. But let me tell my part story of manipulation. All right. Now, if you've ever been in a relationship, you've been both sides of manipulation. You've manipulated the other person, and you've been a victim of manipulation on the part of the other person. And the thing is, huh? Both. I've done both. It, yeah, but in that relationship, we were both. It doesn't matter. The point is, I've been on both sides of it. That's the thing. That's the most important part you need to gain from this. And Brian has been on both sides too. Just not. He's manipulated. Yeah, exactly. But you have. The thing is, he's manipulated more than he has been. Um, he has manipulated more than he has been manipulated. And most people don't even realize this. A lot of people don't want to admit it. I don't care how good you are with, people or anything. If you're a people person, I don't care. You manipulated one way or another. In the courtroom, if you're a lawyer, there's a lot of manipulation going on in the courtroom on both sides, the defense and the prosecuting attorney. And the defense, say it. No, that's a popular misconception. But it's not lying, it's manipulation. Let me explain this to you. There's manipulation on both parts in the courtroom. In the courtroom, the defense is trying to manipulate the jury to think that their client did not do the act. Or if they admit they did the act, they want them to believe they are innocent by reason of mental defect or illness. And the thing is, the prosecuting attorneys also doing this. They're trying to manipulate, not as much manipulation, but they're trying to manipulate the jury into thinking that what the whether the DA believes the other person is guilty or not, it doesn't matter. It's the matter of no, it's not a matter of right and wrong. It's a matter of guilty or not guilty. That's the popular thing. Is it right or wrong? That doesn't matter. Is it guilty? Is he guilty or is he not guilty? That's the thing. And everybody's trying to manipulate one person. If you ever, like Brian, he's manipulated a lot of girls into breaking up with their boyfriend to get with him. How many times have you manipulated that one chick into breaking up with her boyfriend for you? Exactly. The first time and the last time he didn't. The first time you didn't. Well, the first time you didn't. Yeah. Now he dated her 30 times, but that's besides the point. I'm not trying to hate on her or anything. It's a fact. I've counted. Would you shut up? Get on topic. It was your idea. Well, it wasn't your idea. You just asked to do serious options. Okay. Now, I was manipulated. That's okay. Whatever. Shut up. But with in my experience with manipulation, I was manipulated by the other person. I'm not gonna say the person's name, whether it was a he or she. Although if you know me or you've ever had a conversation with me, you know who it was. Brian really knows who it was. But with that, I was manipulated thinking she wasn't cheating on me. And in the back of my mind, from now on, for the rest of my life, every time I get a new girlfriend, that thought will always be in the back of my head. No matter how much you want to push it out, if you were cheated on once, every time you get with a new girl, that thought is going to be in the back of your head, pushing at it and pushing at it and pushing at it, clouding your judgment, really. And that kind of damaged my relationships from now on. It will somewhat damage them. But my manipulation on that part was the fact that we broke up once, and I kind of used manipulatory acts to go back out with her. As stupid as that sounds, it's true. I'm sorry. Oh, and to get her to go out with me. That was another part of manipulation on my part. And I'm not saying it. I will admit it's wrong to do it. But it's almost to the point where, let me quote a pothead that goes to our school. He says, drugs are a problem if everybody does it. Well, everybody does manipulation, but does that make it right? No. If everybody got cancer, would that make it right? No. It's just a matter of, again, it's not a matter of necessarily right or wrong. It's a matter of what's accepted and what's not. there's a what, Brian? Would you shut up and get on topic and contribute to this? I don't actually need you now. I don't technically need you for the podcast now because I got up my screen cap. Hopefully this works. And just like I said, it's not a matter right now. It's a matter of socially accepted and socially not accepted. It's kind of like gay marriage in a way. It's not accepted, but that doesn't make it right wrong. Now, there's one state, I think it's South Carolina, that made it a constitutional amendment where, like, within their state constitution, to the point that gay marriage is illegal within their constitution. So, a little bit, shut up. And it's just, you know, you're really, your thought on the matter, I'll say it doesn't matter within a certain context. Because your thoughts do matter. I'm not going to sit here and tell you your thoughts don't matter, your opinion doesn't matter. You know, I may not respect you, I may not like what you're saying, but I will respect your right to say it. That's one thing I will never go against is the right to free speech. But like there's an actor on Law and Order, and she said she's taken to saying multiple times that the law system is broken. It's like no, the law system is like a broken clock. It gets the time right twice a day. Eventually, you're gonna get them, but it's broken because the right to free speech. There are pedophiles who hide behind the right to free speech because they're making these videos and this literature. Literature is a big thing, and they're saying what they're saying is literature. It's filth, is what it is. It should be outlawed, but it's not because they cower behind the right to free speech, and that's something. For those of you that know me by now, you probably know when I aspired to be a lawyer. Don't get me wrong. I've told you time and time again. I aspired to be a prosecuting attorney. A little bit. Would you be quiet? I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to talk to the people because I'm talking about pedophiles and the literature, the fact that they're hiding behind the right to free speech to make this filth. But if you know me, you probably know when I grew up, I aspired to be an attorney. I was talking with our friend Alex on the last day of school, and I told him I want to be a lawyer when I grow up. He said he made a comment as though I was going to be a defense attorney. I told him, well, no, Alex, I aspired to be a prosecuting attorney and put those behind bars who need to be behind bars. But within that thought, I've been thinking to myself, I want to get the degree to be both prosecuting and defense attorney. Because when it comes right down to it, there are people who are not guilty that are going to be prosecuted. Yeah, we don't always get them right either. When we prosecute them, we won't always get them right. And even though when I'll be in the courtroom as part of the prosecuting attorney, my enemy will be the defense attorney. And when the tables get switched, I'm part of the defense attorney, my enemy will be that prosecuting attorney. Now, trust me, I'm not going to represent anybody that asks me. If I represent you and I'm your defense attorney, I would truly believe you are not guilty. But honestly, if you want my legal advice, quit breaking the law, asshole. That's my advice. Don't break the law. That's all I'm saying. Is don't break the law. And that's why, some of my friends, I know they're going to get in trouble with the law. They're my friends. Brian, you better chime in on this part at least. We are friends. There are some of my friends who are bullied every single day of their life. Every single day. I'm not going to say their names, Brian. You know who they are. They're bullied every single day. I've been bullied every single day of my life. I have been bullied every day. It weighs on your mind so much. Gosh. No, you don't. Shut up and let me tell the story. Let me say what I have to say. The person that bitch slapped you. Exactly. He gets picked on every day. And our friends, some of them are being picked on every single day. And that eats at you and eats at you until you just can't stand it. If I can quote the movie... No, not you idiot. But the thing is... I'll tell you later. But the thing is, with this, if I can quote the movie Anger Management, There's two kinds of people. There's the person who yells at the who relentlessly yells at that cashier for not taking his coupons every day, and then there's the cashier who takes it every day with a smile, and then eventually he snaps and shoots everybody in the store. Now that may sound funny to you, but it's true. Brian might want to say he's the guy hiding in the frozen food section dialing 911. No, there is no in between on this issue. Either you let your emotions be known or you snap. And honestly, every day of my life I've come closer and closer to snapping. On the last day of school, I was this close to beating the shit out of some little bitch kid because he just kept running his mouth and he wouldn't stop. He's bullied me every day of my life for the past 2 years, and I can't stand it anymore. If I see him out of school, I'm probably gonna put the boy in the hospital. But that doesn't matter. I don't care what you do. I'm talking about a serious issue, and you want to be stupid. It doesn't matter. And getting this is what I hate to see is those kids who are being bullied every day of their life. When they finally snap and stand up for themselves, and then they get hit with an assault rap. No. See, that's where my role as a defensive attorney can step in, because any crackpot lawyer with a degree can get you out of that type of case. Any idiot can argue the fact that you were bullied every day of your life by this person, and the fact that you just now stand up for yourself makes you a criminal. No. You can sympathize with the juries and say, ask that every person on that jury will have been bullied. So ask them how that felt. It sucks. It honestly does. You it, it just happens, dude. Everybody is a victim of it. In a way, everybody does it. In a way, it's sad to say. I'm sorry as a motherfucker to say everybody bullies and everybody gets bullied. I am so sorry to say this, but there is no way around it. That's probably the most intelligent thing I've ever heard you say. But the thing is, it's just, yeah, shut up, Brian, you bully me. But when it comes right down to it, there's only a couple of your friends in your life. As much as I hate to say this, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's only a couple people in your life you can actually trust. As much as you think everybody's your friend, they're not your friend, honestly. How many true friends do you think you have, Brian? For real. True, like, yeah, trustful friends. About 5 or so, am I right? Okay, same for me. I can count them on one hand, and that's sad. There are people who I've been friends with my entire life, and now the fact what they've fallen into, the vice that they're in, it makes me feel like I can't trust them. I've known them my entire life, and I can't. They don't have my back, huh? I don't care what you say. That's that's one person I'm pointing to. And no. In all seriousness, me and Quentin, we've been friends pretty much our entire lives. We've been neighbors our entire lives. We used to be best friends in like 3rd grade, but he fell into this vice where it's a mental vice. It's crushing in on his head, and that's another case of manipulation. He's being manipulated to these things that he's doing aren't bad for himself or for others. But in reality, it's killing him because he's being manipulated. Honestly, the people who are around him that are doing it, that got him into doing it. I ain't gonna say their names. You know who got him into doing this stuff that he's doing. Um, it's so sad to the point that it almost makes me want to cry for this kid. This kid doesn't stand a chance with the people he's around. He doesn't stand a chance not to get into drugs. Now, I've lost family members to drugs. My mother died of an overdose. Alright, I know what it's like to lose. Quentin hasn't lost yet. When he loses, he'll learn. I've told him time and time again to get off the drugs. And nobody in that school, nobody, when we go up there in Depression High, nobody will sit there and tell me that it's not a problem. Nobody will sit there and tell me that it's alright to do what they're doing. Absolutely nobody will sit there and try to tell me that. And it aggravates me so much because how are you so ignorant to the point that you think drugs aren't a problem? How ignorant are you to think that? And don't get me wrong, I have family members who do some of the stuff that they're doing. They do that, alright? One of my close One of my close family members smokes. Now, I'm not going to say what he smokes because it doesn't necessarily matter, but I'm just saying. He's one of my closest family members. And I've talked to him about it too, and he shrugs me off too because he's um 7 years older, I think. It's like 6.5 years older than me, and he just shrugs what I'm saying off. I've told this story before, so if you watch the past, we'll be able to piece this together. But he, would you shut up, you idiot? Why don't you pull it on your pants? See what happens then. Nothing, Brian. But he had the opportunity to go to college. He declined the opportunity to go work. He had an opportunity to do his dream job. His entire life, he wanted to be a mechanic. And and when he got to be a mechanic, they told him they were going to pay for him to go to college again, all a free ride to college to be a mechanic. He then quit the job. You know where he's working now? Yeah, well, in cooking, he's getting paid $13 an hour. Now I can't say it's not a good living, but that's not what he always wanted to do. He always wants to be a mechanic. In a way, he's still a mechanic. Anytime any of my family needs their cars worked or anything, he's the first person they will turn to because when they have, they have those classes at Preston High where like they work on the cars and stuff. Well, they have a competition where they choose like 2 or 3 people from the school, and they compete in the like statewide competition, I'll say, and they give you a car, and whoever solves out what's wrong with the car in the shortest amount of time wins. My brother took gold. Oh crap! Well, I don't care if they listen. They know my brother took gold at that competition. The trophy's right behind me. Literally, I could get up and read what it says to you right now. And he decided, in a way, to throw his life away for no reason. I can't understand why he did it. Because my mom was a month before she graduated, and she dropped out too. Well, no, he lives with his buddy Tyler. But no, dude, no, no, dude. Well, no offense to my brother, but he was never the ideal brother to me. All right, it's sad that I'm gonna say this because I've never said it before, but he was never an ideal big brother to me. You know, we never really saw each other. That's just how it was. And that had nothing to do with it. Nobody would have held it against him to go out there and do what he wants to do. Nobody would have held it against him to go out there and do what he loves to do. Nobody would have held it against him to do that, and he decided not to anyway. Everybody understands what he's always wanted to do. Everybody understands that. He has always wanted to do this job, and now he doesn't. He decided not to, and that's what I can't fathom. If I don't know, Duke or something was gonna give me a 4 night to college to go and study the law, I'm taking it. That's an automatic yes for me. That's automatic for me. That's one thing that I will not have to think about. If I'm getting a 4 night to college to study law, it's a wrap. I'm taking it. I don't care. I just don't care. But I've decided a long time ago I'm leaving West Virginia. I'm not coming back. I will never live here after I move. I will never come back here and live. I decided that a long time ago. Once I leave West Virginia and I move away, I'll come back, but I'm not staying here. That's just it. Yeah, you'll say, well, you're leaving your family. Well, they will have to learn to live with what I want to do. It's nothing against them. It's with the fact this is what I want to do with my life. It's my life. Let me live it. This is what I want to do with it. Just understand the fact that this is what I need to do on my part. Like, yeah, people try to say hide behind their families an excuse not to go away. If they're your family, they'll understand you need to do this to further yourself in life. Yeah, your mom may cry when she sees you leave, but she's not crying because she'll never see you again. She's crying because she knows you're going to go out and do something with your life. At least that's what she hopes you will do. She's hoping you'll go to college, you'll get your degree, and you'll do something with your life. That's what all mothers, that's what all parents hope their kids will do. They will do something with their life. I work at McDonald's. But when you go to college for that, come talk to me. Because you will have to go to college for that. And you said a long time ago you're not going to college. Yeah, you told me on this podcast you do not want to go to college. And alright, no, hold on. Yeah, you did tell me that. Let me explain on this topic. You may think that, whatever. You're not gonna make a successful living as a computer programmer with only 2 years underneath your belt. But anyway, I live in West Virginia. If you know this, if you're listening to this, you probably know the fact that I live in West Virginia. People, when they hear West Virginia, they think stereotypical hillbilly, redneck. And as sad as I hate to say this, that stereotypical was so alive and well in our state. I'm almost ashamed to say I'm from West Virginia, just as ashamed as I am to say that I went to Central Preston. As much as ashamed as I'll be to say I went to Preston High. Now you may sit here and you may try to tell me, well, if you're so ashamed of it, why don't you leave? The thing is, I can't leave. I live here. I have to do these things. But once I get up to the point where I can get away from it all, I'm getting away from it all. None of my family has ever left West Virginia. They've never moved away. My entire family lives on this property right here. And it's sad because none of them, like my grandma went to college, like a short, like 2 week college for computers, and she still knows nothing about computers. My aunt went online and got a degree in taxes. She's done like maybe 5 people's taxes in her life. She's never got put it to use. My brother could have went to college, he didn't. My sister never had a chance in life of going to college. She never had a chance. My mother dropped out a month before she was supposed to graduate. My dad had to quit to help support his family. It's sad, but my family has. I don't use this term lightly, but I will use it. My family basically caved in on itself, and it's sad what it's become because I can't stand the fact that this is what I've been set up to do and stay here my entire life. And that's not something I can stand to think that's what I'll be doing. That's not something I want in my life. That's not an attitude I want to have. That's not an attitude anyone in their life should have. Is what they're set up for is what they're going to do. That's not true. Honestly, I'm not set up to be a lawyer. I'm not set up to be rich. I'm not set up to be. I'm barely set up to be successful. Honestly, most of my family don't have jobs, and that's sad to say too. And I'm not set up to make anything in my life. To be honest with you, I'm not set up to do anything in my life. What? Alright. And but I'm not set up for success. I'm not. I truly. I'm set up to stay here on this farm and live here for the rest of my life. That is not something I'm going to be doing. That's not something I can stand the thought of doing. Because that's doing what I've been set up to do by my past relatives, and that's not something I will be doing. I am leaving. I don't care where I go, as long as it's not here. As long as it is not in West Virginia. I'm leaving. Because I can't stand the thought of staying here and living the life I was set up to do. And all the stereotypical hits at our school who say they don't need to go to college, they can work on a engine. You do that with your life. You stay here and you work on mechanics your entire life. I'll be in Boston or New York being a lawyer and making a better living than you ever will being a mechanic. You can say that. You can do that. Because that is your life. I will preach to you as much as one can preach. You're not going to listen to me. It's happened before. It will happen again. As much as you reach out to your friends and try to get them from doing stuff that they're doing, It is so hard to get somebody off their habits that it's nearly impossible, honestly. And like Brian said that next year, yeah, you probably won't have any friends from middle school. All the girls were crying at the end of the day. I was happy. I'm not gonna see half of those redneck hillbilly pricks. I won't see any of them anymore. I don't need that negativity in my life trying to bring me down to their level. I don't need that. Alright? Nobody needs that. To think their friends are going to stay here and try to make something of his life. They're not going. They may think they're going to, but they're not. They're going to stay here. They're going to be a mechanic and try to pretend like they're making a good living and they're happy with what they decided to do. They're staying right now. Okay. Now, alright. Ask your dad if he felt like he should have went to college. All right, now ask him if he feels like he should have went there and got something where he could have made more money for his family and provided a lot better than what he may be doing right now. Okay, well that's great for him, but that's a success story that is not very often. Okay, dude, as much as you want to think that, it's not. Well, a nurse is different. Well, let me expand on what you said about your sister. There's a group of girls in our school that I talked to. Well, I talked to two of them, and they said that a bunch of them and their friends are gonna. They put down on their sheet they want to be a beautician, and they're in the same cluster as me. They're in human services. No, they can make it. They can be a beautician. Honestly, and I've told him if this is what you want to do with your life, I will support you at every turn. I will support your decision if that's what you feel like you have to do in your life. But it's not what you have to do in your life. Okay? Yeah, I might harp at you and tell you that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Or if you listen to me or not, that's your decision. But I will support you throughout your life if you're making these decisions. I'm sorry, but you're. It's gonna be sad because this group of girls, they're all pretty smart. They're all extremely bright. They all got the pathway set up for them to make something of themselves, and they want to lower themselves to think or to lower their mindset to being a beautician. It saddens me to see that this group is lowering themselves. And no way, absolutely no way. She wants to be a teacher, which I can see where yeah, that's going to be an ideal job if she loves to work with kids and that's what she's going to want to do is provide something back to her community and being a teacher and educating the kids on what they need to be told. Okay, I support her at every turn because especially more than the other people because what she's doing with her life is something that I support doing is giving back. Now the teachers are painfully underpaid, but if she knows this, she's not stupid. She's one of the smartest girls in our school. She's not stupid. She knows this, and she's willing to make that sacrifice to give the kids what they need to be given. That's why I've always respected her. But that I respect her a little bit more just because she knows this and she's taking that penalty to be a teacher. Yeah, but when we were all little kids and we're sitting in kindergarten or whatever, and the teacher asked us what we want to be. Yeah, everybody said they wanted to be the president or an astronaut or even a lawyer. Um, they're not unrealistic. What makes you think they're unrealistic, Brian? So, what would you do if one of our best friends, who aspired himself to be a politician and took his skill set to where it needed to be, and he became president? Brian, that's something that you don't need in your life. You're going to sit there and you're going to doubt other people and what they want to do. If you want to be president, be president. If you want to run and be a politician, I will support you. I may not like what you're doing at every turn because politics is a dirty thing. I don't have any political views. I think whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I'm not going to say my input doesn't matter, but one vote is not going to change the entire outcome of an election. And I'm not a religious person either. So marriage is another thing. People want to sit here and say marriage is a sacred thing that's between a man and a woman. If you're not a religious person, what does it matter? Okay, don't take a view on gay religious person. Or if you take a view, don't take the religious route and say you're against it. It doesn't matter if you're against it, dude. Nobody's gonna care what your views are. I'm not saying your opinion doesn't matter, but I'm saying there's a time to keep it to yourself, and there's a time to put it on a pedestal and show it to the world. There's a time and place for that. Okay? I remember when Mitt Romney was running for president. It came out that when he was in private school, him and a group of his friends held down this gay teenager and cut his hair off. Now, I'm not going to say he needs to be penalized for that, but he needs to realize that's going against him. And I'm you shouldn't be. I'm saying he was young and he was a kid, and that's exactly what he was. He was a young kid, and you shouldn't be penalized as much for when you were young as in when you're a grown ass man and still making dumb ass mistakes. People saying this, being a racist and a gay basher and all those kind of things. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter what your opinion is in that situation, because let them live their lives to the fullest. Marriage is nothing but a piece of paper ordered by the government. Now, what I say is, they need to give the dedicated, I'm not getting married. I joke about it and say I'm not getting married because, marriage is stupid, but really the reason is I don't want to get married because I'm not a religious person. That's the only thing marriage is a religious thing, and I'm not religious. I never was. My family was never religious. I'm not saying that's not something you need in your life, because a lot of people, religion, there's a difference between being a religious person and using religion as a crutch for yourself. These people, because you don't want to contribute to the conversation and you're not educated on the topic. That's the only reason why. Because you're not paying attention. Exactly. You're not paying attention. That's what's going to bring you down in life, because you don't pay attention. When attention needs to be paid, you need to do it. There are people's downfalls in life. Everybody has flaws. It's a matter of what your flaws are and how vocally they are broadcasted. Well, yeah, that too, but some people go through depression. Some people go through manipulation. Well, everybody goes through that. And I believe everybody goes through depression in some which way or another. There's a difference, but I'm not going to sit there and say every morning you don't want to get out of your bed because you're going to have a hard day's work. That's not depression. That's called life. That's something everybody will go through in their life. That's not depression. But everybody will go to a more extreme concept of that called depression. Brian, you've been through depression, and even though you don't realize it, you've been through it. There's been about 3 really big cases in my life where I went through a depth of depression. There's been about 3 big events. I don't know why, but I know you have. Because everybody goes through it. You have before and you will later on in life. Brian, your audio's sucking. I can't hear you. Alright, that's better. But it's not just a matter of being depressed, it's a matter of what level of depression you reach. Some of these, yeah, like I said earlier, these guys who just don't want to get out of bed and stuff. And then there's the people who are going through hardcore depression and they can't stand to be what they are. Alright, yeah. There's a difference between being depressed and being motivated. If you're not happy with where you are in life and you motivate yourself to the point where you take action and do something about your life, that's different than sitting around moping around and being depressed all the time. Quit being so damn depressed and bring yourself up out of the depression. There's not one person that can bring you out of depression. The only person that can do that is you. Yeah, you can say God's gonna bring you out of it. I don't believe God will. I believe God. Well, there's a difference between believing in God the entity and God the person. God the entity is the sole presence that weighs down upon you, almost like karma or what's the other thing? There's another thing. I forget what it is though. No, it's not yin yang. No, that's I forget what it is, but I'll think about it. Now, that's not what I'm thinking of. Oh, they're the people who believe that everything in life is somehow related. That's I, I yeah, destiny. Well, no, that's not destiny. Destiny is like what I was talking about, where I'm set up to be a failure, more or less in life. That is what my destiny is. You can change your destiny. All right, yeah. If your own family was a mechanic, what's keeping you from being um owning owning your own restaurant or being a partner in a law firm? What's keeping you from that? Absolutely nothing. Nothing but a glass ceiling. You can a glass ceiling. You can see through it, but you don't feel like you can get through it. Bust through the glass and go through your ceiling. Literally reach through the clouds. Literally do that because nothing's stopping you from being what you want to be. Nobody can keep you from doing what you want to do. Yeah, more or less. And well, anyway, it's just I don't know, dude. It's so sad what people's lives dissolve to the point that they're so depressed they don't believe they can make anything of themselves. That's to the point. No, no, because homeless people. I'm not saying that they don't that they don't need a chance because everybody deserves a chance, but it's a matter of whether you're waiting for somebody else to give you a chance or you're making your own chance. That's the difference. Yeah, everybody deserves a second chance, but are you going to make your own or are you going to wait on somebody else to give it to you? This is the difference. Okay? I'm making my own chances in life. I'm not going to sit there and wait for somebody to ask me to come and be a partner in the law firm. I don't care if I'm still in high school and I can't advance through. If I'm sitting there waiting, spinning my wheels, I'll go to the library and study some law books. Alright, that's fine too. Just be studying what you're going to be preaching. Okay? I've always had these dreams where all these kids want to protest against their teachers, what happened and all that. I've always dreamed of a place where it's almost like students' court. They can bring their case to the like school board, I guess, and argue their case. Now this is where I'll fear the fact of them wanting to side with the teachers because the teachers on their payroll. That will be the difference. That is the only thing. Because I could thrive in that environment. That is where I could. It's kind of like in wrestling. They have like a developmental thing. It's the indies. It's not big time. That's where you hone your skills and get better. It's the NBA D League where you hone your skills in practice and get yourself better to where a team you impress a team enough to where the point they want to bring you up. It's just it's like pride or no, not pride. Yeah. Well, in that matter, then, you can argue that being in your local towns, like AAU thing, like they have that down at the Civic Center. You can be a grown man and put together your roster and play in a league. They do that. So in that context, then you won't matter if that's there because you're not getting paid off that. And if I can tell the story of somebody, and I'm gonna be criticized for saying this, and saying he's an aspiring individual at all. But if you've ever listened to a story, you know he's done something. I was like, Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem. For the longest time in his life, he was washing dishes at I forget what it's called now. I just watched a documentary on it. It's on Netflix, and his girlfriend Kim put him through so much that I don't know how he married her, because they told stories where she would sit there and beat on the kid, just beat him, and he didn't want to hit her, so he'd have to hit like the wall, like walls, pillows, furniture, all that, just because he didn't want to hit her. And when his uncle Ronnie died, his mom tried to tell him that it was his fault. That Ronnie called him the day he killed himself and asked to talk to Marshall, and Marshall wasn't there. Well, Aunt Marshall's grandmother talked to Ronnie that day, and Ronnie never called Marshall. He never called their house. His mother is such a manipulative bitch that she tried to cast the death of her brother onto her son. It's his story is inspiring because he overcame so much to get to where he is in the business today. Eminem, Marshall Mathers, and then the media wants to cast these people out as villains, and really, instead of criticizing 50 Cent for talking about what it was like to deal drugs when he was 10, prevent another kid from dealing drugs when he was 10. Prevent those kind of conditions of them growing up in these conditions. Prevent that instead of criticizing them for talking about what they went through. Eminem, aka. And it's a matter of having the individual strength to overcome the adversity. You know, um, are you there, Brian? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Eminem, aka Eminem. And but it gets to the point that it's your responsibility to take your life to the next level. Nobody's gonna put you on and make you a star. Give yourself the opportunity to catapult yourself to the point that you want to be at. All right, that's your responsibility. It's not my responsibility to keep you from doing drugs. It's your responsibility to have the self worth to not give a damn that your best friends are doing drugs. Have the self worth to overcome the fact that your best friend's sitting there shooting up and snorting pills to resist the yeah. And as much as Brian wants to say this, I believe Brian will end up falling into this vice. His best friends do it. Alright? Some of his best friends are into that scene. Alright? If anything, I keep away from that scene. Because that's something I need in my life. Next year, when I go into the most drug-riddled school in West Virginia, I want to have the self-worth and the self-respect to stay away from it. You know, when you go to high school parties, there's going to be alcohol and weed and all stuff. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Alright? It means nothing. When I was in school, but well, there was alcohol in our school. No, what? Well, wasn't it? No, it wasn't in a water bottle, was it? No, I was talking about in our school, Central Preston. Yeah. Alright, well, that's another thing I'm gonna talk about. I'm not gonna say her name. And Brian, honestly, you don't have to sit here and run her down. Because you don't know what her life was like. I've heard her talk about some of the things she's been through. And it's hard to go through what she's been through. Alright? Um, her father's dead, for one thing, Brian. Still, her father was sick. Well, not just that, but when your family member passes away or is so sick that they can't carry on a conversation with you, it kills you on the inside. It really does. It kills you on the inside. It rips you apart to the point that you don't feel like you should be alive anymore. And nobody will sit here and tell me I don't know what it's like to be depressed. Alright, my mother died, my aunt died. You know, don't sit there and tell me I don't know what it's like because I've been through it. Alright, that's one thing nobody can sit there and tell me I don't know what it's like. Well, that too. I mean, honestly, if you get into an argument with that person and the last thing you say to them is you hate them or anything like that, that's the last thing you say, that will drive you into the deepest depression you can imagine. What? What? Who? Yeah, but That's not as bad as it could have been if like you argue with the person and then they pass away before you can apologize or anything. Yeah. Yeah. Rest home. Yeah. I mean that's hard too. But in a level that's better than what it could have been, Brian, because you can prepare yourself for the passing away. You know, if one of your family's been sick for a long time and then they pass away, I'm not gonna say that's good, but you can prepare yourself for the loss. All right. If somebody dies suddenly, all right, yeah, it hits you a lot harder. Hey, I don't know who you're talking about. I know the person, and I might have seen something on. Yeah, I know this, and I've seen something on Facebook about it, but I'm not exactly sure what happened. Well, not just him, but his cousin too. But his co Well, his cousin too, dude. His cousin's best friends with him. That's gonna be hard on him too. And it is so sad to see one of your friends, family members pass away, and you see them and there's nothing you can say to them. That makes you feel bad too, because you feel like you can't do anything for them. What makes you think anybody else can? But like I said, as hard as it is to think this, and as hard as it is for me to say this, it is your responsibility to get yourself out of your mindset. This is going to sound harsh on me. A lot of people are going to hate what I'm about to say. But the thing is, you have to get over it. You have to move on. You have to understand that they're gone, but they're not gone. You may not be able to talk to them, but they're in heaven. Alright? That's one concept I do believe in. What? Well, no, that's not something I believe in. I believe there is a heaven and there is a hell. Well, I don't dwell on hell. I believe it's a place where the devil resides as he only is. Because a lot of people believe that God is in everything. No, I don't. As much as you want to think that you'll come back, it's your responsibility to make sure when you die, what happens to you is what you wanted to happen. But the mindset I want to. I don't believe in that either. You believe in the fact that everything is going to happen for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason, but from the moment that you are born to the moment you die is not planned out. The moment you are born is where you will be raised to a certain extent, and then when you reach about 10 years old, I'll guess, sometimes before that, that is where you start making decisions for yourself. I mean, there's kids in our school. It's hard to tell how long they've been on what they're on, how long they've been smoking. I know one particular kid's been on it for a long time. I've known him for a long time. Not the first kid, but a different kid. And it's just you you're born, you are raised. It is your life. That is the way I believe it happens. But that's not a good way to think about it, Brian. Because then, yeah, but the way you took it is ending your own life to change the date that, in your belief, God planned out for you. Well, now I will say that suicide is something that should never be valued or anything. But some people believe it, Brian. Some people believe it is the only answer. They hate themselves or are fed up with the way their life is going so much that they believe taking their own life is the only way to live. No, let me explain the plot of this show. I've seen every episode. Let me explain the plot. The kid. This is fictional, by the way, but it's an okay story to think about whenever you think about God and karma. He grew up his entire life doing bad things, stealing, getting with girls and then breaking up with them, lying, cheating, all this stuff. And then he gets a lottery ticket and wins like $100,000, and he gets hit by a car right afterwards. And he's in the hospital. His wife divorces him because of it, because she was cheating on him with a black guy, and she had a kid with him and never told Earl that it wasn't his kid. Obviously, yes, but still. And he was watching. Oh, it might have been Jimmy Kimmel. No, it was Carson Daly. He was watching Carson Daly, and Carson Daly was talking about karma. So that inspired him to make a list of every bad deed he's ever done, and try to make up for before he dies. Yeah, like there's funny situations that happen, but there's an underlying thing about it where it makes you think, what all bad things have I done? What things can I change from doing in the future? Yeah, it exactly. And that's a lot of people excuses for not making up. But you may not be able to make up for past things that you did, but you can make it up for things you might do in the future. There's a lot of bullies in our school. Yeah, before you bully that kid, maybe you should think that maybe he gets abused at home and he doesn't need you writing him all the time and making him feel worse about himself. You don't know what these people are going on at home, what their home life is like, what they're going through at home, anything. So why would you try to act like you know what they're going through or try to make their lives a living hell? There's people in our school who bully every day, and there's people who get bullied every day. There are people who do it, and people who are the victim of it every single day in our school. It's a cold reality. You do, Brian. Everybody does. It still happens every day in some form or fashion. It is still a matter of as to what extent it is, but it still happens. It might be a minor occurrence where somebody makes a comment that hurts your feelings. It's still bullying in a way. You still have to realize the fact that you bully every day and you get bullied every day. Well, no, not necessarily you bully every day. Because there are kids in our school who are as nice as can be. They never say a bad word about anybody. They never say a bad word to anybody. It is extremely rare. Yeah, they barely talk. Yeah, and it's kind of sad to see the fact that they would rather not talk than to accidentally say something bad to somebody. It's kind of sad, but it's almost a good thing, you know. Like there's maybe about there's one girl I know of. There's a guy. There's one guy that I know of, and there's one girl that I know that barely ever talk. Like I talk to both of them pretty much every day when we were in school. I used to talk to both of them every day, and it's just they would never say a bad word about anybody. No matter how bad you hurt them, they couldn't say a bad word to you back. And that's what everybody should strive to be like. Now but there is a flaw to that, you know. A person who doesn't say a bad word about anybody. But then there's the negativity where someone says something to them and they don't say anything back. So then the bully feels like that opens the door for them to say whatever they want to them. Yeah, it happened to me where I didn't say anything back to them, and then they feel there's one kid who's bullied me, made my life a living hell for the past 2 years. I used to hate going to school because of the kid, and it's it lowers your self confidence. But if there's one thing that I feel as though I will never lack is my charisma and my self confidence. That's one thing I know I will always have in my life because I've learned that these other people who try to bully you, the thing they're looking to take away from you is your self confidence. Because now here's a theory of why I think the kid bullies me. All right, the girls around him started developing early, and every time he tried to give him something, they turned him down. So then he bullies me to make himself feel better. And I got studying why some of the girl there's a couple of girls in our school who are complete bitches. I have a theory on them. You see, they developed early and started giving out hand jobs at the age of 10. So now they feel like when they're 18, they're going to be a used up piece of trash that even their stepdad won't want. So then they bully other kids to make themselves feel like not such of a bitch. You can't, don't tell me that's not right. And you cannot tell me that doesn't not describe half the people in our school. It does. Because they feel as though they have a right to take from you what you don't have. Brian, alright, you cut out. And it happens every day. They feel they take from you what you have to give to them. Because they have zero self-confidence, so they want to take from you. Who? I don't fucking know. But there's an extent to where that kid who gets bullied every day, they try to cast their bullies onto somebody else. They feel like that's their only shot at stopping the bullying, is casting that bullying onto somebody else. Or they try to get other people to pick on somebody else, or they do it themselves. And there's a certain girl in our school, I'd call you a prick. If that I say you can shut the fuck up, because your opinion don't matter to me. Well, that is so immature, it's not even worth my time. It's not worth the time to sit there and argue back with them. No, no, alright, as much as you think that is, Brian, as much as you feel like if you give them one back, they will stop. No, you know how bad, you know, yeah, well, that's one thing, yes. But that's a way to try to get them to cast the bullying off of you. So yeah, your life will be easier for a couple minutes, but that person's life is going to be just as much of a living hell as yours normally is. Which is so sad. I mean, why do you have to act like that? Okay? You're not you're not helping anybody when you do that. You're not. I mean, honestly. Yeah, that's the only person. Well, not even really, because once that person is unavailable to bully, they're gonna come right back on you. You're the person they're gonna bully. They're gonna come right back and bully you some more. It does not depend. It will happen. No. Well, yeah. If they can I was singled out by this kid as weak. Now this motherfucker knows I will not back down to his bitch ass, but still, I dared him. I've dared him time and time again to try to fight me or anything, and he won't do it because bullies are cowards. That's what they are. They're cowards, hiding behind their words. Okay, now I don't say, all right, you're my friend until you stab me in the back. Honestly, until you do that, I have no problem with anybody. We are cool. Just don't. I'll say don't cross me, but it's not even that little. It is don't overstep your boundaries as far as bullying goes. All right, don't sit there and try to bully somebody else. Don't sit because I'm sick of it happening. Honestly, at the assemblies we're gonna have next year, they're gonna sit there. They're gonna have these specials come in and talk to us about all this stuff. Why don't you let some of the kids get up there and talk about it more than anything? Honestly, the kids are what's going through it, not the adults. The teachers know. These kids are what is going through it. No, here, I have a better thing where you're going. It's where athletes advertise something that they don't use. They're trying to get you to use it even though they don't use it themselves. Oh, no, that's not even true either. Because there are people who were bullied that come in and talk to us about bullying. But their bullying are over. They don't worry about it anymore because they're an adult. Let us kids get up there and tell our stories. Now, that's mainly why I did this podcast. So my opinions can be known and let them be broadcasted across a. Um, again, Brian, it doesn't matter. Alright? It's a. The. Yeah. Yeah. They're pretty much the same. But it doesn't matter. No. It's too loud. And I can hear you breathing. Find a medium. Okay, well. Hold on. My computer's screwing up. And the thing with this is, when you're on the internet, it doesn't matter how many people are broadcasting your image or how many people listen to it. The point is, your opinion is out there for anybody can listen to, and people will know your opinion. That is the great thing about the internet. It is both a safety outlet and both a predatory tool. For these kids who want to make YouTube videos, there are a couple of friends who make YouTube videos. That is kind of like their outlet for their opinions. Because there are shy kids who don't share their opinion in school or in a group setting. But if they're by themselves and they have a webcam, they will share their opinions all day. Because they feel like they're not going to be judged. No, I will voice my opinion until the cows come home because I don't care. My opinion matters to me. I don't care if my opinion matters to you or not. Alright? Again, you don't have to click on this video if you don't want to listen to it. That's another thing. You don't like my opinion? Don't click on the video. You do not have to watch this. Yeah, it's still recording, I can tell. Hypercam. Well, I don't know. How long have I been recording? Alright, guys, I'm going to end it here. We'll pick up with it later on.